Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Cool. We will start with chanting the Sri Isopnisad prayers. We can say the Sanskrit all together and then take turns reading the English. Ready? Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamidaya Purnameva Visheshyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance.
Ishvavasyam
Idam sarvam yat kincha jagajam jagat tena jatena bhunjita
magraha kasasvitanam. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong.
Purvani Vaha Karmani Chijivekshatam Samaha Evam Trainanyate Tosti Na Karma Lipyate Nare.
One may aspire to live for hundreds of years. If he continuously goes on working in that way, for that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for a man.
1, 2, 3. Asurya namate loka andena tamasavrita tamste pretya bigajanti ye ke chatmahano janaha.
The killer of the soul, whoever he may be, must enter into the planets known as the worlds of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance.
104. Anijadikam manaso javiyo naina deva apnuvam purvam archat tadavatonyanachite titistat tasminapo matarishva dadati. Although fixed in his abode, the personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind and can overcome all others running. The powerful demigods cannot approach him, although in one place he controls those who supply the air and rain. He surpasses all in excellence. Mantra 5. Tad ejati tannaijati tad dure tad bantike tad antarasya sarvasya.
The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. He is far away, but he is very near as well. He is within everything, and yet he is outside of everything.
Mantra 6. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmane panupashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato nati jagupsate.
He who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities as his part and parcel, and who sees the Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being.
Mantra 7. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmai bhuti anataha tatra ko mohakashoka
ekatvam
ekatvam
anupasthitaha.
anupashyataha.
One who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks in quality one with the Lord becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him?
Mantra 8. Saparya Jachukram Makayama Vrinam Ashnaviram Shudham Apapa Vidam Pavir Manishi Paribu Swayambhur Yatat Yatitoridan Vyadadach Chaspatibhya Samabhyaha.
Such a person must factually know the greatest of all, the personality of Godhead, who is unembodied, omniscient, beyond reproach, without veins, pure and uncontaminated. The self-sufficient philosopher who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial.
Mantra 9. Andham Tama Pravishanti Ye Vidyam Upasate Tato Bhuyeva Te Tamo Yau Vidyayam Rata. Those who engage
in the culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge.
Mantra 10. Anyad evahur vidyaya, anyad ahura vidyaya, iti shushumadhiranam, yenastad vichachakshire.
The wise have explained that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge and that a different result is obtained from the culture of nescience.
Mantra 11. Andham tama pravishanti, ye sambhutim upasate, tato bhuya eva te tamo, ya usambhucham rataha.
Only one who can learn the process of nescience and that of the transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend in the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality.
Mantra 12. Andham tamaha pravishanti, ye sambhutim upasate, tato bhuyeva te tamo, yau sambhucham rataha.
Those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance, and still more so do the worshippers of the impersonal Absolute.
Mantra 13. Anyad evahu sambhavat, anyad ahura sambhavat, iti shushumadhiranam, yenastad vichachakshire. It is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes, and that another result is obtained by worshipping that which is not supreme. All this is heard from the undisturbed authorities who clearly explained it. Mantra 14. Sambhutim cha vinasham cha yastad vedo bhayam saha vinashena mrityum tirtva sambhuchamritam ashnute.
One should know perfectly the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna and his transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes, as well as the temporary material creation with its temporary demigods, men and animals. When one knows these, he surpasses death and the ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it. And in the eternal kingdom of God, he enjoys his eternal life of bliss and knowledge.
Mantra 15. Haranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukam tatvam pushana pavrinu satyadharmaya durishtaye.
Very loudly. Bada kar lo. Oh my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee.
Mantra 16. Ushane karshayama surya prajapatya vyuharasmin samuha tejo yate rupam kalyanam tamam tate pashyami yosavaso purusham sohamasmi. I used to chant this one differently, which was easier, but this is the way it's written in Sanskrit, so we're trying to learn it this way.
O my Lord, O primeval philosopher, maintainer of the universe, O regulating principle, destination of the pure devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You are the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, like unto the sun, as am I.
Mantra 17. Vairanilam amritam atedam bhasmantam shariram om krito smara kritam smara krito smara kritam smara.
Let this temporary body be burned to ashes, and let the air of life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you.
18. Agninaya supataraye esman vishvani deva vayunani vidvan yayodya smajtu haranameno uyishtam te nama uttim videma.
O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, now I offer you all my obeisances falling on the ground at your feet. O my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions of my past sins so that there will be no hindrance to my progress.
Sorry, we have a big group of guests taking darshan outside.
They're new.
New people. We're just getting them some prasadam. So we left off last time. We finished the introduction. So to recap a little, I just thought I would ask if anybody remembers what the 4 defects are of the conditioned soul. I think by the time we finished, everyone's going to know those 4 defects.
Yes.
Can anybody tell me?
Imperfect senses, propensity to cheat. You are put into illusion.
And the cheating propensity was the last one.
Was that all 4?
One more.
Yeah, she said what you said. Imperfect senses. We commit mistakes. We're subject to illusion. What's missing?
Propensity to cheat.
You said that. Okay. I don't have them written down, but they say in here. Subject to illusion, imperfect senses, cheating propensity.
Making mistakes.
Yeah. Commit mistakes, that's right. Okay. So who did there's an echo. Did you hear an echo? I hear an echo. We'll try anyway. Who did Vyasadeva write the Mahabharata for? Anyone tell me? Srila Vyasadeva.
Who did he write it with?
Well, he composed all the Vedas, but he also wrote the Mahabharata and the Puranas for a particular class of people.
Low class.
Specifically, it mentions the Shudras, and Dvija Bandhu. The Shri is women, Shudras is the lower class, working class of people. And the Dvija Bandhu is, they're born in a higher class family, but they do not qualify. So they're like the friend of a Brahmin, or it could be Kshatriya Vaishya also. Considered less intelligent. One's considered less intelligent when he pursues that which is temporary. Those we mentioned those who are intelligent, they worship the Supreme Lord with the Sankirtan Yagya. Kusha Krishna, Sangupangastra Parshadam. And it's interesting, Jiva Goswami mentions that Lord Chaitanya's weapon was his beauty. His astra was his beauty. Okay, what do those with, oh no, I said that. So, what is the summarized knowledge of the Vedas called?
Vedanta Sutra.
Right. And what is the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra?
Govinda Bhashyam.
That's the Gaudiya Vaishnava commentary, but Lord Chaitanya called a particular book natural commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. And that was why there's no need. Somebody needs to mute. Baladev Vidyabhushan said there's no need to write a separate Vaishnava commentary because the blank is the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Anyone remember what that is?
Bhagavatam.
The Srimad Bhagavatam, right. And the Srimad Bhagavatam actually begins with the first aphorism of Vedanta Sutra, Janmad Yasha Yataha, which means that everything emanates from the Supreme Lord. Okay, and why was Srila Vyasadeva feeling despondent after compiling all the Vedas, even Vedanta Sutra? Why was he feeling despondent?
I know why.
Because he had not glorified Lord Shri Krishna directly.
Right. And so what did he do? As a result,
Narad Muni instructed him and then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam.
Right. Okay. And the last thing we covered was the absolute truth is that which everything emanates. And I think that was it for the introduction. Yeah, that was pretty much it. But also, the Vedas are very difficult for us to comprehend in this age, being all born in the lower class, as Kamala Radha so nicely brought up. The Sudras, Dvijabandhu, and Shri pretty much covers everybody. We're all born Kalo Sudra Sambhava. But if we can just remember Yasya Devi Parabhaktir Yata Devi Tatagaro Tashaite Katitaya Arta Prakashanti Mahatmana. To those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, all the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. So that's where we need to place our determination, try to develop our faith in the Supreme Lord, to try to understand the Lord and serve the spiritual master, and develop our faith. And according to the Bhagavad Gita, faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. And that there's nothing more sublime than transcendental knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which brings us to the invocation. So should we have everybody chant it? Because we already chanted. We could do the word for word or what? Invocation.
Chant it once, or everyone can chant it at the same time.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamidavashyate. Word for word. Om.
Om.
The complete whole.
The complete whole.
Purnam.
Purnam.
Perfectly complete.
Perfectly complete.
Adaha.
Adaha.
That.
That. Purnam,
perfectly complete.
perfectly complete.
Idam, this phenomenal world. Purnat, from all perfect.
From all perfect.
All perfect. Purnam,
Purnam,
complete unit.
unit. Udachite,
Udachite,
is produced. Purnasya,
Punasya,
of the complete whole.
of the complete whole.
Purnam,
Purnam,
completely.
completely.
All.
all.
Adaya,
Adaya,
having been taken away.
Having been taken away.
Purnam,
Purnam,
the complete balance.
balance.
Eva,
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 even.
even.
Avashishyate,
Abhishishite,
is remaining.
is remaining.
Is remaining.
Translation. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this complete world. I'm sorry. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. I want to see if that was the same as this. Purport by his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. The complete whole, or the supreme absolute truth, is the complete personality of Godhead. Realization of impersonal Brahman, or of Paramatma, the Supersoul, is incomplete realization of the absolute complete. The personality of Godhead is Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, and impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of his Sat feature, or his aspect of eternity. And Paramatma, or Supersoul realization, is the realization of his Sat and Chit features, his aspects of eternity and knowledge. Realization of the personality of God, however, is realization of all the transcendental features, Sat, Chit, and Ananda, bliss. When one realizes the Supreme Person, he realizes these aspects in complete form, Vigraha. Thus, the complete whole is not formless. If he were formless, or if he were any less than his creation in any way, he could not be complete. The complete whole must contain everything, both within and beyond our experience. Otherwise, he cannot be complete. Now, should I comment, or should I read the whole thing and then go back?
I would comment.
Okay. Okay, so here, complete realization is Bhagavan. Bhagavan is Satchidananda Vigraha, eternity, knowledge, and bliss in form. The Brahman is partial representation of the absolute, and that's Sat, eternity. And Paramatma is Sat and Chit, that's eternity and knowledge. The Brahman is the glowing effulgence of the Lord. And in the Brahman realization, people see everything as God. They see themselves as the energy of God. Yeah, I think he was going to show the Brahman. Yeah, very good. Very good. In the Brahma Samhita, it says, Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti Shvasheshu Vasudhari Vibhuti Binam Tad Brahmanishkalam Anantamasheshu Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose effulgence is the source of the non-differentiated Brahman, mentioned in the Upanishads, being undifferentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe. He appears as the indivisible, infinite, limitless truth. Lord Krishna says, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. And in the state of Brahman, there's no hankering and no lamenting. Nasochati nakangshati. Brahmabhuta prasanatma. Nasochati nakangshati. But the devotee, he has no attraction to the Brahman. And later in the Isopnisad, in text 15, the devotee is asking the Lord to please remove your dazzling effulgence so that I can see your form of bliss. And according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, thoughts of becoming one with the Lord, emerging into the Brahman effulgence, they can actually be an exhibition of kama, lust, because one is desiring the satisfaction of being freed from the miseries of material existence. But in the Brahman state, there is always the danger of falling down. Prabhupada mentioned that the merging into the Brahman is like spiritual suicide. And he quotes the verse often, Yene Ravindaksha Vimukti Maninas, Twayasta Bhavada Vashuddha Bhudaya, Aru Prachena Paramparam Tata, Patantiado Andrita Yusmad Angraya. I don't know the English, so I'm going to read that. O lotus-eyed Lord, although non-devotees who accept severe austerities and penances to achieve the highest position may think themselves liberated, their intelligence is impure. They fall down from their position of imagined superiority because they have no regard for your lotus feet. Because they haven't taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, they won't be able to sustain their existence. There will still be some desires in their heart. And next, they mention, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions the Paramatma realization. Paramatma is seeing God everywhere. He's in the hearts of every living entity, and he's actually in every atom, and he's in between every atom. This is also a partial representation of the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, when describing the Super Soul, it says that everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes and faces, and he hears everything. In this way, the Super Soul exists. And in the heart, it's described, Sarvasya chaham pidi sanivishto matakshmitir dhyanam apohanam cha. From him come knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. He's seated in everyone's heart. And from the Super Soul comes inspiration. We forget our past lives. And then when we take birth again, the Lord within inspires us to continue pursuing, whether it's material activities or spiritual activities, continuing where we left off. He inspires us in that way. It's also said that the Super Soul in the heart, I've heard, is the size of the upper thumb, but also it says in the Srimad Bhagavatam in a purport that he's around 8 inches, and he has 4 arms, and in those arms he's holding his 4 weapons, 2 to bless the devotees and 2 for chastising the demoniac, and it's the lotus, the club, the wheel, and the conch. But all of them are aspects of the absolute truth. As it says, Vedanti tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdite. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. They're all aspects of the absolute truth, but Bhagavan is the last word of the absolute truth. Bhagavan is the Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. He's the Sat Chit Ananda, the eternity, knowledge, bliss in form, Vigraha. We cannot have something that God does not have. He cannot be lesser than his creation. So God also possesses form. Bhagavan means full of all opulences. And the great sage Parashara Muni quotes the Vishnu Purana when describing the Supreme Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one who is full or complete in all the six opulences. Aishwarya, Samagrasya, Virasya, Yashasya, Jnana, Vairagya, Chaiva, Sanam, Bhagya, Itingana. And those six opulences are strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. When all these six opulences are fully present, then that is God. That is Bhagavan. And Lord Krishna exhibited all these six opulences while he was here on this planet in Gokul. And it is said that the Lord, when a devotee approaches the Lord, then there's an exchange and loving reciprocation of these six opulences. And I was just thinking that maybe we can try to think of some examples of how the Lord exhibits his strength in full, these six opulences. For instance, like strength, when he was a baby, he killed demons. Putana, he sucked out her life air when she offered her breast milk. He kicked the Shakatasura. He pulled down Trinavarta. And when he's a little older, he lifted Govardhan Hill. Anyone else think of any strength exhibited by the Lord? In many of his incarnations, in Lord Varaha, he lifted the earth planet. Can you think of any?
Well, I think of Govardhan Hill, the main one. I mean, you got to be pretty strong to hold it with the pinky of your left hand.
The pinky of his left hand.
For 7 days. Or 8
Yeah,
days.
we can't even lift that refrigerator, you know.
But you can.
Can anyone think of any other exhibitions of strength by the Supreme Lord in his various manifestations? Anantashesh is holding up all the planets on his hoods.
Vamana avatar on his tusk.
Okay. And as far as the Lord's wealth goes, in Dwarka, we were just reading about Dwarka yesterday morning, was it? Or the other morning? There were like 900,000 palaces. The Lord provided palaces for all the Yadus. He transported them from Mathura to Dwarka, and he provided all these palaces. Besides for his 16,108 wives, he provided palaces for the others. And in one day they were built with the help of Vishwakarma. Right? And in these palaces, there's unlimited opulence. There was, I remember the floors were inlaid with emeralds and with pillars of ivory and pearls and all the gems you can imagine. And even the horse stalls, I remember, were silver and gold. So that's definitely an exhibition of wealth. Who can compare? And as far as the Lord's beauty, we know that all the gopis and the women are attracted to Krishna's beauty. But also in the incarnation of Lord Ram, the sages who are meditating in the forest were very attracted to the Lord's beauty. And they later took birth in Krishna Lila. as some of the gopis. And as far for the Lord's fame, he's famous. His name is famous. It's becoming a household word. And he's famous for Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is world known. Anyone else think of any fame? Yeah, it's been over 5,000 years and Lord Krishna is still known, heard of. And another opulence is the knowledge, cognizant. Lord Krishna inspired Srila Vyasadeva to write all the Vedas. The Vedas are the source of all knowledge. He also enlightened Lord Brahma within his heart with Vedic knowledge. And renunciation, the Lord was amidst the Rasa Leela dance, and he, with all the beautiful gopis, and he disappeared. And can you think of any other renunciations?
Lord Ram being separated from Mother Sita.
Ram, you're muted. There's an echo, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I said when he
separated from Sita.
That wasn't renunciation.
What do you call that?
He didn't have a choice.
He didn't have a choice.
That wasn't renunciation. Renunciation in Dwarka, early in the morning, his wives were embracing him in bed, and he just got up out of bed and meditated upon himself.
But didn't Lord Ram choose to send Sita away?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
At that point. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
He chose to send Sita away, and he only had one wife. So that's renunciation.
Yeah.
And while on earth, Lord displayed all these opulences.
even as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accepted the sannyas order when he was so young and good looking.
That's right. He had a young wife. That's right.
I think when he got old, he was still good looking.
Actually, remember that was one of his weapons, is his beauty. Uncomparable beauty.
Yeah.
And so all the other features of the Brahman, Paramatma, they're also there in Bhagavan. But Bhagavan is the source. We have all heard of this example of the sun. The Brahman effulgence is compared to the rays of the sun. The Paramatma is considered like the sun disk. But Bhagavan is the whole sun planet with the variety of palace, everything there in the sun, the palaces, the people, that's king of the planet and everything. And there's one devotee who likes to compare these Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan to a sweet ball. So if you have a sweet ball, the scent of the sweet ball is like Brahman, and the shape of the sweet ball is Paramatma. And then when you bite into it and experience the flavor of that sweet ball, that is Bhagavan, the ultimate, the highest.
I think that's so that everyone can relate to Bhagavan.
Yeah, it's a little more relatable within our grasp. And as far as Bhagavan is, the Lord says, Mata parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya Mai sarvamidam protam sutre mani ganaiva. O conqueror of wealth, there's no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. I can't talk. As pearls are strung on a thread. So everything is resting on this thread. And if you ever take a look at a necklace of pearls, you can see the pearls, but you can't really see the thread. It's hidden. So the Supreme Lord is hidden, but he supports everything in this world. He also says in the Bhagavad Gita that whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to be considered the knower of everything, and he therefore engages in my full devotional service. So this is what Bhagavan realization leads to, is service, engaging in the Lord's service. Whereas in Brahman, there's no concept of service. And in Paramatma, there's seeing the Lord, but there's no exchange of love. You know, there's realizing the Lord in the heart, but there's no exchange of loving service with the Lord. There's no exchange of those 6 opulences of Bhagavan. And the Lord is asamordva. There's no one equal to or greater than. He's nityo nityanam chaitanas chaitananam. There's unlimited living entities in the world, but there's only one nitya, one supreme. There's only one supreme living entity, one eternal. All others are subordinate. So let's read another paragraph. Any questions thus far? No? The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies, all of which are as complete as he is. Thus, this phenomenal or material world is also complete in itself. The 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation are arranged to produce everything necessary for the maintenance and sustenance of the universe. No other unit in the universe need make an extraneous effort to try to maintain the universe. The universe functions on its own time scale, which is fixed by the energy of the complete whole. And when that time schedule is complete, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. So, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaya Shruyate. The Lord has unlimited energies, and he's exhibiting them. He's extended them into this world. So everything is here that is needed for survival. The Lord has provided everything from the largest elephant to the most insignificant ant. There's nothing lacking except Krishna consciousness. But everything we need, this is phenomenal. Everything is complete. Yeah, everything, the universe is complete. The universe functions on its own time scale. Even creation, sustenance, and then destruction, it's on a time scale. It's so scientifically arranged by the Lord, like clockwork. Even the seasons happen naturally. There's no effort on our part. You know, there's nothing. And each planet that the Lord has created is also complete with all efficiencies itself. Everything is provided for life there. That's what it says now. All facilities are given to the complete units, namely the living beings, to enable them to realize the complete whole. All forms of incompletion, I like this sentence, all forms of incompletion are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being, and it is obtained after evolving through 8,400,000 species of life in the cycle of birth and death. If the living entity does not realize his completeness within the complete whole in this human life, which has the benediction of full consciousness, he loses the chance to realize his completeness and is again put into the evolutionary cycle by the law of material nature. So besides providing sustenance and everything we need within the material world, our human body is also given to us to help us realize the Supreme Lord. I mean, there's so many different species according to the consciousness of the living entity. And when we arrive in the human form, we have opportunity to realize who we are, who God is, and our relationship with him. And if we do not take advantage of this human form of life, we run the risk of falling down again into lower species, which is considered the most dangerous type of fear. falling down again. And the Varnashram system is designed to help all of us to evolve to higher states of consciousness and ultimately go back to Godhead. Any comments or questions so far? You have something to say? No? Because we do not know that there is complete arrangement in nature for our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize the resources of nature to create a so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. Because the living entity cannot enjoy the life of the senses without being dovetailed to the complete whole, the misleading life of sense enjoyment is considered illusion. The hand of the body is a complete unit only as long as it is attached to the complete body. When the hand is severed from the body, it may appear like a hand, but it actually has none of the potencies of the hand. Similarly, living beings are part and parcels of the complete whole, and if they are severed from the complete whole, the illusory representation of completeness cannot fully satisfy them. That's an example we hear often, that the hand is only useful as long as it is attached to the body. Once it's severed from the body, what use is it? It goes for any part of the body. And our incomplete, if we feel incomplete, unsatisfied, it's because we're not dovetailed to the complete. We are like that hand severed from the body. But once we join again to the Lord through dovetailing our activities, then we'll feel that completeness. We'll feel that fulfillment. We'll feel the enjoyment of connecting with the Lord. And that's what we're meant for. That's what yoga is, to union, to reconnect with the Lord. That's why in each age there's given a process for that union, for that connection with the Lord. We're all seeking answers in life, and a process is given for each of us, for the general populace to advance to that reconnection with the Lord. Like in Satya Yuga, the process was meditation. People lived for like 100,000 years, and they were in the mode of goodness. They had patience. They could sit for thousands of years and meditate to commune with the Lord. And then in the Treta Yuga, people lived for 10,000 years, and sacrifice was the process for connecting with the Lord, offering the best of everything to the Lord. And in Dwapara Yuga, deity worship was the process, and people lived for 1,000 years. And that was a way to offer everything and dovetail one's activities in the service of the Lord. And then in Kali Yuga, the process is Harinam Sankirtan. And this is our yoga. This is our process of linking or seeking communion with the Lord. Yeah. And at most, in Kali Yuga, we live for 100 years at most. Each year declines as everything gets less and less. And the process of Harinam is complete in this age. There's nothing lacking. Everything that could be achieved in the previous ages can be achieved through the Harinam Sankirtan in this age. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada so eloquently says that by chanting the holy names of the Lord, one can derive all stipulated energy synchronized from all sources. Any questions?
Can you explain that?
So what that means is everything that we are aspiring to achieve, it's all there in the holy names of the Lord.
After you finish explaining it, say it again.
Yeah. By chanting the holy names of the Lord, one can derive all stipulated energies synchronized from all sources. Therefore, that we cannot equalize that what we achieve from chanting the names of the Lord with chanting any other names. Everything is there. His names are complete with all his potencies, just as Lord Chaitanya prays in the Shikshastaka prayers. The second one, how does it start? Namakari Bhavodani Jasarvasaktis Chatarpitani Amatasmarne Nakala Etadrishi Tavakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dirdhaivam Yadrishani Hajanina Naraga. Oh my Lord, oh my, your holy name of the Lord.
The holy name alone.
Oh, your holy name alone can render all, I'm like a parrot. Your holy name alone can render all benediction to the living beings, unless you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. They're not even hard and fast. They're not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. And out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by these holy names. So everything is there. Nothing is lacking. The completeness is there, the complete whole. It's just up to us to connect with it, to take these holy names in our heart and hold them there and try to chant attentively, like Prabhupada says, like a lost child for its mother, with feeling, from the heart, and just hear the names. Focus on what they mean. Yeah. The Lord Chaitanya says there's no hard and fast rules, but when my husband, someone asked Jayadvaita Swami, can you tell it? I don't remember exactly. My husband was just telling me about.
Someone asked Jayadvaita Swami that we say there's no hard and fast rules, but there are different rules. And Jayadvaita Swami said they're soft and slow. Not hard and fast.
But the main thing is to chant. Even if we don't chant purely, by chanting we get purified until we'll come to the stage of chanting purely. So there's one more paragraph. I'd like to finish it so we can start on the next one. And then I'll see if there's any questions. The completeness of human life can only be realized when one engages in the service of the complete whole. All services in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete until they are dovetailed with the complete whole. When everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached parts and parcels also become complete in themselves. So even interplanetary, it will not be complete until it's dovetailed with the Supreme. Until we want to travel to those other planets to serve the Lord, to spread his glories, to share the opulence of the Lord with others. Otherwise, it'll always be doomed to failure. Social, political, all services in the world. So the key word here is to dovetail all our activities with the Lord. Prabhupada used this term a lot, dovetail. So dovetail something and it becomes connected. It's that yoga, to link up, link with the Lord, commune with the Lord. And this is the goal of our life. The human form of life is meant for this. That is the aim. And otherwise, human life is nothing more than a polished animal life, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Real life begins when we inquire into the absolute. Aham Brahmasmi. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? Any questions? I know it's late. Questions, comments, additions, subtractions?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
After you read from Isopnisad, I got lost. Where were you reading from? Because I can't see the screen, so I was wondering where you were reading from.
I was reading from the purports from the Isopnisad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It gives the verse, the Sanskrit, the Roman transliteration, gives a word for word, and then there's Srila Prabhupada gives a nice purport to the verse, explaining for us. You have something to say?
I just want to say much time.
3 minutes. Comments, questions?
No.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a quick question.
Great.
Can you hear me, Mataji?
Yes.
Okay, my question is, so when we say this often that in the Satya Yuga, the process was Ashtanga Yoga, in the Treta Yuga, the process was Yajna, in the Dwapar Yuga, the process was deity worship, and in the Kali Yuga, it is Sankirtan. Now, if you look at the Bhagavad Gita,
Can't hear you. Messed up.
is it better now?
Oh.
We heard you about the different yugas, and after that, we didn't hear what you said.
Better now, Prabhuji?
Not really.
We're not just saying this because we don't want to answer your question.
I'll type my question in the chat window, Mataji. You can continue with other questions.
Yeah, it's echoing, and
It's really not good.
it's like you're from another
Does
place.
everyone hear it messed up, or is it just us?
No,
Yeah,
Mataji,
there's an echo going on.
Yes, it's echo.
Okay.
So anyone else have a question?
Questions, comments, realizations?
Well, nobody else, so maybe we could try again, see if we can hear it.
I have a question, Mataji.
Go
So
ahead.
in the word complete is used so many times. Like how should we think, what does complete mean?
Complete means is like, say you have a vessel full of something and you take something out and then it's not full, right? But with the Supreme Lord, he's full. If you take something out, it's still full, nothing lacking. He always remains full, complete. Is that clear? That's my understanding. There's nothing lacking. He's also always complete. Even though so many complete units emanate from him, he's still a complete balance. There's nothing missing.
Yeah, so with respect to Supreme Lord, I think I understand, it's easy to understand, but when we say this world that emanated from him is also complete.
Well, everything we need is here. All the resources for living here is here. The resources for spiritual life are here. Can you think of something that's lacking here?
I mean, you have the air, it's got the right amount of oxygen. You have everything. The trees they have to make the oxygen.
Yeah, the whole
I mean, the whole
process.
thing is they got rains, they got the oceans, it takes water,
It
then it rains
evaporates.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is here.
Yeah. I was thinking with respect to, like in the beginning, we said we have 4 faults. And those faults remain, even if somebody dovetail to the Supreme Lord, those faults remain in one form or the other. Like, does those faults make us incomplete in one way or?
No, we are considered, the liberated soul does not have these faults, just the conditioned soul.
Okay.
Yeah, so those faults are you don't always have those faults. Once you become liberated, you no longer have those faults.
Okay.
So if you have those faults, you know you're not completely liberated yet.
Yes, I know.
And I was going to say, when you asked what's complete, I was going to say the opposite of incomplete.
Yes. Hare Krishna Mataji. So we have learned today that what Bhagavan is the super soul, and we have to enchant and get closer to him by doing service to him and enchanting and all these things. That's true, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Very good. That's good.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have one question. Like, you say like this is complete, right? Like Krishna is like the Supreme is complete. That means we are all from the complete, means like we are being merged into the complete, or like we are being
we say that it's part and parcel, right? Like it means like we are merged into, that means it means we are merged into the Supreme.
Are you saying merge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When someone merges in this, I don't.
Yeah, like anyway, within that complete, we are involved in one, right? That means we are merged into that. We are merging into that complete.
When someone merges with the Lord.
Yes, like we are the part and parcels, right? Like we are learned from that, right? Like
Yes,
that means
it's called a sample. We're a sample God.
Yes. So that means like we are being merged into that complete, like that Supreme. It means that?
No. I don't know if I understand.
No, I would say no. You're not. You don't merge into the complete. You're an individual. Even though you're a little tiny part of the complete is still just as complete. Even though you're now a separate part. Prabhupada said, like he was teaching spiritual mathematics, and he said 1 + 1 = 1. 1 - 1 = 1.
Okay.
It's complete. And we don't merge. That's not how complete. Prabhupada said also that we're, it's Prabhupada gave the example, when a lover submits to her beloved or his beloved, there's a feeling of oneness. But even though there's a feeling of oneness, they're two separate individuals. So we have this feeling of oneness with Krishna, but we're still two separate individuals. He's the supreme and we're the little tiny fragmental part and parcel. But we can feel one with him, but we're still serving him because we're out of love.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no rasa. If there's no rasa, if there's merging.
Okay, Mataji. Okay, thank you.
The devotee can accept any kind of liberation except for merging.
Yeah.
Merging. Okay.
Yeah, he will not accept it.
Thank you, Mataji, for explaining. Have a nice night.
You
Hare
too.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. Thanks for joining us. Here. Maybe we'll
Look in the chat. He said, "Look in the chat." He wrote some things in the chat.
Well, I don't even know where it is. Which one? So, however, there is no direct
It's
verse
already
in
after
Bhagavad Gita about deity worship. There are a couple indirect verses. Deity worship is the prescribed process for Dwapara, and Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna in Dwapara. Why doesn't he speak anything directly about deity?
Mamana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. You could say that's about deity worship. Offer me, offer obeisances, worship me. Right? Couldn't we?
Yeah, I would. When you
Always think of me, worship me, offer homage unto me.
Right. How do you do that?
Yeah.
How would you do that? Well, without
bow down.
When you have deities, worshiping. How do you worship? You worship a form. That is indirect.
Huh?
Seems correct to me. Well, how else do you worship?
Offer me a leaf, flower, fruit, or water.
Who are you doing it to?
All that you do,
to
all
Brahman?
the
You just
offer, all
offer to
that
space?
directly.
What?
He's asking why he doesn't mention directly like he does with the other ones. Like Ashtanga
He's
yoga.
saying how you do it. He's telling us how to do it. They're already doing deity worship, but he's explaining that it has to be done with love and devotion. If everybody's doing deity worship, he's not going to be telling them, now you should do deity worship. They're already doing it. But now he's telling them how to do it, the right, proper way to do it.
I have to think of more verses.
It's also at the, it's at the very end of Dwapara Yuga also. So he's speaking this for the people, not just then, but the people for the future.
I have to think maybe there are, I'll have to research. That's an interesting question.
Well, it doesn't say deity worship.
He mentions my form.
One thing I can say is Lord Chaitanya, he wrote the Shikshastakam. It's the only thing that he wrote. So this is like the most important things. So one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, if accepting a spiritual master is so important, why didn't Lord Chaitanya write about that in his Shikshastakam? And does anyone know what Prabhupada answered? I guess not. Do you know? Okay, you want to say?
Chanarapi Sunichena Thalori Iva Suhishnuna Manina Manadena Kirtanayasara.
I don't think I hear you say it so low.
Chanarapi Sunichena Thalori Suhishnuna Manina Manadena Kirtanayasara Hari. How can one be humble if one does not submit to the spiritual
Humble
master?
and lower
than the blade of grass, or tolerant than a tree, feeling lower than the tree, unless he surrenders to the spiritual master.
Unless he's at the lotus feet of his spiritual master.
Yeah, everything's there in the Shikshastakas.
So you can't, you can't feel that way, genuinely feel that way, unless you're at the lotus feet of your spiritual master. So that was Prabhupada's answer. So he didn't directly say it, but he said it indirectly.
Yeah, how can we offer a leaf, flower, fruit, or water?
Yeah, I know.
All that you do, all that you offer, all that you give away, all that you eat.
It was an offering unto me.
It was an offering unto me.
Well, I think offering of leaf, flower, fruit, or water is pretty. What else can it be besides deity worship? Offer me a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water. Obviously, not everyone's going to personally go over to Krishna on his chariot and offer him a leaf, flower. We can't do that. And this is meant for people in the future too, when Krishna is no longer even on the planet. And there's not even any more, now, and then it's Kali Yuga. And still we can do deity worship, but it's not the process to perfect your life. Chanting is more important. So
and the deity worship is meant to be accompanied by chanting.
Oh, he wrote.
Chanting of the
he
mantras.
wrote that he doesn't want to hear us anymore.
He said that?
No, he said, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. I don't know which we said that makes sense.
Okay, it's
but
8:11.
we said a lot of things.
We're supposed to finish before. Anything else? Anybody?
Okay.
Going?
Once, twice, sold.
Thank you for tolerating us. And, for obeisances to all the Vaishnavas.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank